Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shenanigan, and today we are actually looking at 6.4.2, the paths and the best champs we can use to complete it. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the boss, but first we'll go ahead and talk about the fights. There are six paths again in this chapter, as in other 6.4 paths as well, and none of them, need a specific counter. Some of them do, so we'll talk about it. The first path I did in this particular chapter was this path here. This path does not have anything, particular going either. You just, are going to go ahead and get your power burned, uh, and that's it. So you may not be able to use a lot of special attacks, and all you got to do is rely on your own attack. And this Doc Ock, I believe he has a power gain. Yeah, so he gains power till 2 bars, and then heavy hitters, you can't really go ahead and attack on his heavy or something. You can just go ahead and push him above 1 bar of power, and then bait the special, and that's it. For this path, I only, if I remember, took Archangel. He was the best in this path. The defenders are immune to ability accuracy reduction, but what we're looking for here is damage. So any champion who can do damage is someone you can take here, and this path will be in the bag. The other two paths I did here, I did them together, and that would be this path right here. Long distance relationship, aggression precision, God Slayer, nothing at all particular on this path. In this path, I only took Domino, Trinity, and I took a Warlock, and that's it. The parry heavy thing from Domager is actually going to go ahead and work this path completely. Other than that, all you're going to need to do is to just make sure that you have a counter for this Domino, maybe a tech champion. And this final rogue, I think he has unblockable special attacks. Only special attack 1, and if you get hit with special attack 1, he's going to go ahead and gain a lot of health. This one does have long distance relationship, so you can probably go ahead and enable willpower and gain some of the health back. But then again, this path is really simple. You can do it with any champ at all. Anyone who does have a lot of damage, maybe some heal. Um, Third path in this fight I did was this Footloose path. Yeah, this is Footloose, Pry, and Auto Block Evade. Uh, the mini boss also has Ghast, I believe. Yeah, Ghast and Power Bomb. So this path was also done by Domino Trinity. These champions do get Footloose. They get Unstoppable and Evade charms after every special attack, but because of the Domino Trinity, the stun duration is long enough for you to go ahead and parry and do a heavy. The whole path was done by one Domino, nothing else. With the Trinity, of course. If you don't have Domino in this path either, you can use anyone who can go ahead and put in a slow debuff. You can take She-Hulk, possibly Spider-Gwen. You can probably take the slow debuff stamps such as Still Spider-Man. Uh, you may want to go on and take something for this. I'm not sure. I mean, the evade is something you can go ahead and get past with True Strike, which you can't really go ahead and get past the unblockable. But yes, unblockable buff here is a buff. It is not a passive, and so is evade. So if you have a nullify champ, that can also go ahead and nullify the buffs, the Footloose buffs. Uh, and that's it. This path also is pretty easy. Just go ahead and get a counter for Footloose, and we're done. The next path I did was this one here, Vitality Rush. So whichever champion has more health at the start of the fight is actually going to go ahead and gain more attack. So this goes against you after the first fight basically, because after you lose some health, you if you are able to one shot this fight, of course, you can take different champs on different fights, and but you eventually are going to go out and use the same champ again and be a defender. Sorry guys, I got a call and the video got interrupted in between. So I think I was actually saying that Eventually, you're going to use the same champ for another fight, and in that particular fight, the defender is going to get more attack based on the amount of health you have lost. But this is nothing to be worried about because well, the path is actually really easy. Because all you got to need to do is to go around that particular damage, and you can bait specials. Any champion on this fight in this path would work. But the main problem fight on this path is this King Groot, because together with this all this, he has a particular Thunderstruck node. Uh, the shock debuffs and passive will deal 25% more damage to the defender, and they take 90% less damage from all sources unless they're inflicted with a shock debuff or passive. Each additional tech champion on the attacker's team increases the duration of the debuffs by 10%. Now, what I would recommend on this path, if possible, take one champion who has shock damage, and if possible, take the rest of them, at least two or three of them, as tech champs. What that will do is increase the duration of the shocks in this fight, and you can probably go and use those tech champs to do the rest of these fights. Um, there are not a lot of champs who actually go out into a shock damage. Now, what this is saying is the shock debuff is going to do more damage. We do not have to rely on the shock debuff to give damage to this King Groot. However, the defender will take 90% less damage unless they are inflicted with a shock debuff. So this is what you need to keep in mind. Any champion who can do shock for some time, you will be able to do full damage. What I did on this path is use a Doom. The way I played around is I did not use a shock and then did a heavy. I did not remove that shock to do a heavy. Uh, King Groot starts with two Fury charges. You start the fight. You do not hit him. I'm sorry. Just do a two heavy, two parries. He was going to go ahead and lose those Furies, and you can go ahead and just attack into him. The health gain is also, I mean, not a lot, but occasionally what I will do is, when I see the timer on his side, which was about to go ahead and finish, and his Fury will get enabled, then I'll go ahead and do a heavy from Doom, and that will not trigger his Furies. But there are a few shock champs that are available that you can use. You can use Iron Man Infantry War with his SP1. There's a shock damage there. You can use Nebula, who has shock damage now. Hulkbuster has now got a buff, and he does a lot of shocks on the opponent and increases his attack while the shock is active. So that's very important. You don't have to rely on the shock damage, but the fact that the attack increases on shock, that is something that you need to do. It is not going to be wise enough for you to power through this fight because it's going to be a really long fight. Uh, if you have a Thor, you can go ahead and uh, you know push through, and he has to be awakened, of course. If you can push through and hit an SP3, after SP3, all he does is a lot of shock damage. You can take Red Skull with his SP2, he does a lot of shock damage. Uh, the Sentinel can go ahead and work as well. Just build up some of the charges and try to do parry heavies. Once he has shock, then go ahead and do the regular hits. One of the new champs that does have, well, actually, we should also talk about Night Thrasher here, because you can go ahead and keep the shock active for most of the time on this champ um, with his SP1. So Night Thrasher can work as well. But I want to talk about Black Widow, who is one of the champs, who does shocks and basic attacks. So she's one of the people who can go ahead and do this fight as well. Uh, but that just means that you need just one champ who has easy access to shocks, and that's about it. Uh, just make sure that his speedies are not active. Put the shock on the champion, and we're done. The fifth path here is this path right here, Special Concierge. Now, On this path, the defender takes 90% reduced damage from all sources except special attack. Uh, this path would have been better if the defender would take 90% less damage except special attacks, and the special attack would actually do more damage. That would have been great. Uh, there are some synergies you can use, but for synergy you do need those particular champs. It does have cornered as well, so you can't really use Sunspot. It has clapback as well, so if your specials are doing some debuffs, um, you should be actually immune to those debuffs as well. This is the second part on this chapter where I used Emma Frost. Her SP2 does have really big damage. Just go ahead and build those 10 towers and do the damage. I also use Havoc on this part. This SP3 damage from Havoc is incredible as well. Proxima does work too on this path. Quake works extremely well. I am not a Quake player. I cannot do Quake and Dex, or Quake and Shake as it's better known as. I can do Quake and Parry, and that's what I rely on most of the time. And I did take Quake on this path and did do Quake and Parry for some of the fights. But in most of the fights, Havoc and Emma are going to work. There was this was something I thought, this void that I'm not going to go out and go around. But there's an easy way to deal with void. Do not do 5-hit combos. Do 4-hit combos. Wait a few seconds. Let the debuff come to you, and as soon as you start to get that debuff, just hit into him. Uh, the debuff is not going to apply. I think I one-shot most of the champs here. I did not one-shot this one here, and Electro was easy with Havoc. If she would be easy with Quake as well. Havoc has that energy resistance, so all you do is to just do a parry and then medium, medium. Don't do a light attack because that's going to go out and take damage. The medium attacks are not going to take damage. The Thing fight was also pretty easy with either Havoc or Proxima. I didn't take Proxima, but you can definitely take her or Emma Frost. This man thing was a problem because of the fact that it has encroaching stun, and there's a flux dispersal charges here as well. So you can't really go out and do a lot of heavies. Unfortunately, this is not something you can go and get past because Man Thing does, you know, put armor breaks on you, and he does put on poison on you as well. So you need that immunity too, and that does not happen with a lot of champs. You can take Emma here, you can take Havoc, you will go ahead and take some damage. Unfortunately, the only champion I could do this was with Quake and Parry. That's it, or Quake and Bake, it's called. You can do some damage with Human Torch with his pre-fight ability. It is not going to be enough. Um, this is something that you will have to push through and get by. This is much worse than this King Groot boss here. Um, but yes, I mean this is something that you can go ahead and get past. I'm sure uh, with a few revives. It's just not going to take a lot of revives. And the last path is this critical path. Crit me with your best shot in tunnel vision. Uh, the best thing about this path is this critical setup. When the attacker ends a combo with the same attack they ended the previous combo with, they are going to get a guaranteed critical hit. Tunnel vision also works in your favor because if you are losing some health, do a couple of dashbacks, get the tunnel vision enabled, and gain that health back. Now, with this path, a lot of people are, waiting for someone who does those, crits, like Ghosts or um, Thor, Jane Foster, or probably Corvus, but that is not required on this path, and I think that will be stupid to use those stamps because even though those stamps have guaranteed crits, the attack is very low, and you are not going to go out and get that much damage. The best thing to do in this path is take any champ who, with his base, damage can do a lot of attack. And here's what you need to do. Let me go ahead and just give you some examples of this path. So if you see that there are a lot of champs that we have in Kadam, which has very little critical damage rating and very little critical damage, critical attack, because their base attack is really high. For example, Thing does have only 14% critical rating, only 154% critical damage, because his attack only 2912 being here. If he has 60 Furies, uh, you get what, 4800 more attack on 2900, so approximately 7800 attack. Right now, who else we got? We got Hyperion. Where is it? Hyperion. So if you are able to do a couple of parry heavies, right, you get like let's say 5 Furies. Right, each Fury is giving you 1300 attack. That is 6500 plus 2400, approximately 9000 attack. And if you see, his critical rating is very low as well. Let's go ahead and talk about other gems. Where is... Okay, we have Angela. Now Angela does have really good critical rating and critical damage also. With her base attack of 2000, once she reaches 1 bar of power, she gains a Fury, which is 1400 more attack. When she does a critical, she gains another one of these Furies, which is 2800, and then you do an SP1 again. You get 3 Furies, which is 4200 plus 2000, that is 6200 attack. Heimdall does the same thing. You go ahead and build up to his Fury, then do a heavy, and you can convert that Fury into an active Fury, and that active Fury gives him, where is it? That's a Fury. Increasing the attack by 330. You can gain up to 5 of these Furies, that's 1500 attack, plus this 1800 makes it 3300. Let's see, do we have anyone? Okay, Spider-Man is actually good here as well. You can just go ahead and do 10 poise. In the beginning of the fight, you will get those tunnel vision charges, but your attack will be increased approximately 8000, and then you can just do a medium, light, medium. What else do we have? Okay, maybe Venom as well. You can gain Fury. So my point being that take any one of these champs who can actually build up their attack, build that attack up, and just do a medium, light, medium. That final medium is going to go ahead and do the damage up equal to the critical damage rating of that higher attack. So for example, you have Thing and you have 8000 attack. You are going to go ahead and do approximately 12,000 damage per medium hit. Corvus is not going to do that. Neither is Ghost. I took the Thing with the Thing synergy, and if I remember correctly, I was doing around 33,000 damage per medium hit. I took Angela. Well, that fight was only just for practice. I did take Thing with Human Torch synergy, so after 15 rock stacks, every parry after 20 was just going ahead and giving me, those rock stacks were being converted to Fury automatically. I took Angela for this fight, and I did take Hyperion, and yeah, these are the only champs I took. So that being said, this final mini boss is going to go ahead and give you some trouble because it does have Herd Locker, and he starts to gain a lot of power as well with all the crit that you're going to do. So you may want to do a couple of revives here, but the rest of the path is really easy. Even uh, this analysis is also really easy. Anytime you go ahead and think that you are going to lose health, do a couple of dash packs, gain from willpower. Now the final boss here, Thor Ragnarok, he also has nothing going on. All special attacks are unblockable. Power efficiency, you have to do 15 hits from the beginning in order to gain the attack, and aspect of death. Uh, so what essentially you need to ensure is that you need someone who can probably control power, though that's not essential. All these special attacks are unblockable, and if you are unfortunate enough to block a special attack, you will immediately get knocked out because of this aspect of death. You can parry, uh, but after a special attack that is, but don't block it. This was really easy uh, with Domino Trinity. I just went ahead and did some parry heavies, and I was able to go ahead and one shot him like both the times I had Domino. I did take Doom for this fight because Doom could control his power a lot, which was uh, which was good. Once I did try magic. It was a long fight, and my magic was R4, but I was able to do it. And this is pretty easy. The only problem here is that you have to hit him with a special every 20 hits so that he does not reach that full bar of power. And you have to ensure that you bait a lot of specials and you have enough distance. This is an easy one shot as well, provided you have a damage dealer, and that's it. There's nothing else going on in this fight as well. This is also a pretty simple chapter, pretty doable. A couple of fights do need specific counters, but I believe most of us have those counters. But that's about it for 6.4.2. I'm going to come back with more videos for 6.2.3 and above, and the best champs you can use. So thank you for watching. Please like, please share with anyone who's looking to go ahead and do the Act 6.4, and please subscribe. Thank you for watching. You have a good day. Goodbye.